Okay, so this week I practiced a bit of Suzuka. I did not really have much time, and it's a very difficult track, but managed to find some time, and I got to a 203. And what you're gonna see now is my best online race because I tried some online races and just was checking to see how people drive, and it's quite actually quite difficult because it's a lot different than in a qualifying session. Because the way that the cars interact with each other when you're behind the car, when you're in the slipstream, especially in the SS at Suzuka, like here you're seeing the SS. Um, the cars react a lot differently, and you kind of have to pretty much adjust what's going on, switch between the second and third gear instead of just, for example, being able to stay in the same gear, because that would enable you to control the rotation a little bit better. At least that's that's my experience. So the race is about to start. I qualified third, which is good because if you qualify and you're like 10th or something, there's a big chance that um, you'll be fighting drivers that just have problems keeping their car on the track. And I'm not saying that I never have problems keeping my car on the track, but just saying that it's easier if you start ahead. The persons who qualify first, second, they're more likely to know what they're doing. So we start the race. Thing with the auto drive here is that you have to be really conscious of what your car is turned as when the counter starts. So 3, 2, 1, and we go. And well, immediately you can see that the Porsche is actually quite fast. So we're gaining on the R8, and first car is a Ferrari. So immediately something already goes wrong with their driving, and I kind of catch up. But I figured I would stay safe for the beginning of the race, just stay behind them. I mean, this is not a good overtaking spot anyway, so just stay behind them and see what happens. Just get figure out their driving style, and like here, that was a bit dangerous. Um, so for me, this corner that's coming up, one of the most difficult corners, and I'm not super fast here, but at least I'm staying. I have to get straight in my car here. At least I'm staying competitive, so I'm kind of within the range that I could potentially overtake them. So just the first lap, can already tell you the first lap, just a very clean lap. So we're all three of us just basically together in a little pack, and yeah, I was actually just waiting for someone to make a mistake, and just making sure that I set a good time, and I kind of wanted to figure out like how they would drive. So here, that's I think my lap is quite ideal. Okay, somebody started joining my stream here, which I find a bit of a distraction. I actually only use the streams to get the video out of the PS4. So not really. I mean, people can watch my online racing, but it's not like I really want to build like an audience or something. So something interesting is about to happen now. Second lap. Um, Basically, the guy in the Ferrari is gonna make a huge mistake, bam, into the wall, So this just gives us a spot. And yeah, that's easy then, going from third to second, just by following Mr. Hans, the German, and going into, I think this corner is called Deng or something, Deng 1 and Deng 2. Not sure, it's something like that. Um, then the bridge, under the bridge, so keep going. And now Mr. Hans makes a huge mistake and he goes on the grass. And basically, this I still take my corner way too slowly, but this gives me a chance to basically catch him. But when I try to take the corner, I maybe take it a bit too sharply and bump into him. Maybe I should have waited a little bit. I don't know. He goes off track. I get a safety rating minus. Yeah, I mean, you have to make those decisions in microsecond, and I was like, I'm not gonna move here. Um, don't really make the ideal corner, and somebody bumps into me from the back. And at this point, I'm like, okay, should I take the inside line? Yes, I'll go for the inside line because he was far enough behind me. Um, and then take this final chicane a bit slowly, and just, yeah, the guy behind me is a Porsche, so basically he has the same speed as me, same car, so it's all gonna come down. He's flashing me. I don't know. I mean, I'm not gonna give up my position. I'm on the racing line, and just try to do my best to take these corners. But actually, this corner was just a bit too slow. But I can see in my rear view mirror that he's not actually faster than me. So yeah, just trying to stay on the curbs here in the S's, get a good time, and I think it's gonna flash now. So 34 seconds, 34.2. That's quite good for me if I look at how I do in qualifying. Previous lap was a 2:07, so I think this lap is gonna be a faster one. And yeah, just in general, I think my lines are quite good, and you can see in the rear view mirror that well, the Porsche is falling behind a little bit. So I take my corner here, and suddenly he's there again. Of course, because this is a braking zone. We go ahead and yeah, just get on the power. This corner, the spoon corner, I think is quite weird. I don't really get it. Like, I think I'm supposed to, in the second part of the corner, supposed to be more on the outside, but if I'm on the outside, so at the curb, it's hard to get to the other side again. So a corner that I still have to master. Now, from this part of the race on, it's just gonna get a little bit more boring because I don't think there's any more action happening. I just try to do the best I can, clean lines. I think we're gonna end up with a 2:04 here. So this is a 2:04 lap, which I think is quite good. My qualifying time is 2:03, so I'm trying to improve that. I have never really driven Suzuka, so first time, just getting used to the track. It's, in my opinion, a very difficult track to master, and you kind of want a car that has straight line speed, but also is good in these S's. So my favorite car, Nissan Skyline, it does not work on Suzuka. So I started looking for alternatives, such as the NSX by Honda, and then I tried the Alfa Romeo 4C, but that one is way too slow. I tried the R8, Audi R8, which is actually quite good. I quite like this car, and I think I'm gonna drive it more. But in the end, after some experimentation, I switched back to the Porsche, and I could immediately get, like within 2 laps, I could get to my 2:03 time, qualifying time. So I think that says something about how good the Porsche is on this track. Usually I'm not really a big fan of the Porsche. I think the back is too slidey, everything is just too slidey in general. Um, but I guess that's just what people love about this car. Um, Maybe I'll start to like it again. I've started practicing without traction control, so just zero traction control or one traction control, and then that essentially means that well, I have to learn to drive again because zero traction control, well, it's totally different style of driving. So finish here. First position, actually my first online win. So I have never, well, I've reached third position, I think maybe second position, but I've never been first. I guess I got a bit lucky because the persons behind me, or at least the persons who were in front of me in the beginning of the race, they made some, yeah, big mistakes. And like Leatherhands, who was second, is actually ended up 13th. And then the guy in the Ferrari, let's check. Well, he actually ended up being 14th, so a bit strange. I guess they made a lot of mistakes during the race, and well, I made less mistakes, and that means my first victory is there. Also want to excuse myself for the very poor quality of this video, but that's just how the PS4 records video. I've been thinking about getting some hardware to fix that, but yeah, don't know how much of these videos I'll make. So that's it. A race with a Porsche, and I hope that this video was interesting to at least someone. Bye.